Hello and welcome. Today we will use post-it notes to do masking technique. We will use the gorgeous stamps from La La Land. Our theme will be mermaids, as you can see here. And I'm going to use my Tombow watercolor markers, which I really love. And I will use watercolor technique, so I will need, of course, brushes. I'll use distress ink, weathered wood, for the outlines, as I'm going to do an online coloring technique. As you can see, these stamps come with sometimes one picture or multiple pictures, and if they came with multiple pictures or multiple stamps, you need to cut them or separate them yourself. All what you need is a pair of scissors, and just be careful not to go into the picture and cut it. And you can cut them the size you want. And if you can notice, there is a paper backing. You need to keep this, and when you want to stamp them, you need to separate this layer of paper so they become sticky, or the rubber sticks to the acrylic block, and then you can use it to be stamped. I'm gonna use two background objects. One is the rock and the other is the oyster. For the first one, I will use the rock, and as you can see, I want my mermaid to be sitting on that rock. When you do the technique of masking, you need to stamp the front object first. So my mermaid will be in front, and I will stamp it first. And I will prepare my mask for this picture, which is the mermaid. And I have it ready. I use distress inks because they react with water. As you know, they're water-based. So when I use them in a watercoloring technique, I will not have very sharp lines, and I use lighter color because it reduces the sharpness of the outline. As you can see here, I am determining the place of the rock after I placed my mask, and now I'm going to stamp the rock. And here we go. When I remove my mask, my mermaid will be sitting on the rock. I will add some bubbles just as an effect. And then I usually use the colored picture that comes with the stamps as a reference to decide where to put my shades and highlights. And this is the shade guide that I prepared for my Tombows, as I use usually with every set of colors I have, to decide which colors I will use. And here I didn't follow the classic colors of hair, which are like blonde and brown, brunette, and black hair. I just wanted to color the hair with whatever dreamy colors I think about. So I decided one of them will be royal blue with orange, and the other one will be in like emerald green together with pink. As you can see, a little bit goes so far. You don't need to lay down a lot of color. All what you need is to add a bit of the color and then work it with water to have the colors to be blended, and enjoy the coloring. And I will be back with you after I finish coloring this picture. Although I used no line coloring technique, I always like to make the eyes and the facial expressions more crisp by using my Copic multi-liner black. And also I like to add white gel pen to the eyes to give the shine of the eyes. And then I used my blueprint sketch distress ink for the background using my clarity brushes, and also frayed burlap for the floor. And as you can see here, I used the stencil to imitate the shape of or the waves of water. And I like to use this brush because I can control the gradient, and also it shows like the mermaid is shining. In my second card, I used old paper distress ink. It's kind of a hint of beige, and then I started my coloring. Here, I made it to look as if the mermaid is coming out of the oyster, and this is also done by the masking technique. And here I will start coloring the other mermaid, as I said, with these gorgeous colors. Now it's assembly time. So I used ready-made cards with their envelopes, as I usually do. For the frames, I used Lanfa die set, stitched rectangular frames. For the sentiments, I decided to make one as it's a girl, and I used the sentiment of Elizabeth Craft Design die It's a Girl. For this one, it's a happy birthday from Tim Holtz. I used Tombow Mono Glue to glue my frames, and I cut several layers from every sentiment, and then I layered them over each others to give the sentiment more prominent shape. And I only cut one layer with the colored paper. The layers underneath, I cut them with the watercolor paper that I used to make the card from the beginning. And I either use the Tombow Mono Glue, as you can see here, to layer the sentiments over each others, or I added double-sided tape just to make it easier to stick them over each others. For the bubbles, I didn't color them before. I added the Nouveau crystal drops in clear color to give them dimension and a glossy effect. I also used Wink of Stella to color the frame, and also to color the sentiment, which is not coloring actually, it's just adding some glitter shine to these areas. Here, as you can see, I used the layers with the double-sided tape, and I stick them over each others to make my sentiment more prominent. So this is the final result of my project of today. I really enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. If you did, please press like and subscribe to be informed about my future videos. And I wish you a happy day and happy crafting. Thank you.